Whoa!
We're doing the show!
No. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Alright, Jake. Welcome to Streit Talk. Hi, everybody. My name's Tye. This is Jake.
Yeah, let's talk about stuff.
Let's talk about stuff.
We are going to try to be talking about sports, which we love, movies, which we love, and video games is kind of on the back burner right now, but hopefully it'll get back in a place where we love it.
COD's been kind of taking us out a little bit, but we still play it. Been playing a little bit of Fortnite recently.
Yes.
Kind of embarrassed to say, but they're doing a better job with their game than Call of Duty is, so...
Excited about the new game, per usual. Yeah. We're always going to try out the next game. Sports, movies, and video games, if you want to stick around and hear about it. Our opinions.
And we'll mainly be college football during the fall. We'll obviously talk about NFL if like some cool stuff's going on. And then pretty much based on the season, sports-wise, like the Masters, the Derby, whatever's going on, hockey, we'll talk about whatever we're interested in. And then movies, we'll talk about up-and-coming movies, like ones that are coming out that we're interested in. And we'll let you guys know our reactions to it and things like that. And then video games, obviously COD is one of our staples. It's been tough to play recently though with the lack of movement. But I saw a tweet the other day that if you want to take a peek,
I wanted to be clear. There's a difference between the COD that we play and like arcade COD. Like we like the arcade version, but like we play Search and Destroy pretty religiously over here. That's what we like.
We're snipers. We like to snipe.
Yeah.
I like to hit a 360 minimum, like, and feel aggressive while I'm doing it. And I actually saw some news recently that Call of Duty's taking out throwing knives out of the game, or they're not taking them out of the game, but they basically are by making them like a 2-shot kill.
Yeah.
I want to hit a cross-map throwing knife. I want to shoot my sniper. If I miss my snipe shot, I want to throw my knife.
I think we're
sad
talking about too much COD right now for it being kind of like out of the picture for a few months, but yeah, I think that the knife throwing is going to be a bit of a drawback, but everything else I've heard seems like it's going to be elite. So,
all right, so movies we've seen recently. I know we obviously saw Talk to Me in the theater this past weekend.
Yeah.
That's directed by the Raka twins from Australia. They started out on YouTube, which is kind of inspirational. I know they don't like to be called YouTubers because they like said they were like artists even before, but they got their start.
They don't like that terminology.
Yeah, they're not a fan. Like they were like, I mean, we always kind of wanted to make a movie. Like that's kind of how we feel too. Like we always wanted to make a movie. They just weren't like YouTubers. Like, and then they were like, oh, let's make a movie. Like they always wanted to.
I think it's okay to embrace the title of a YouTuber. I don't think it's derogatory, but I get it if you're like making like an actual box office movie and they're still calling you YouTubers, where it could be annoying. But Talk to Me, the movie. We before we get into the director talk. Yeah, Talk to Me as a movie. I thought it was the best horror movie of this year, at least, because there's only been a few, but it definitely was way better than Insidious 3, which I checked out earlier this year. I liked the cinematography of it. I liked the story and how it kind of progressed in a way where you couldn't guess the ending, and it was enjoyable in that aspect. And I don't know, I think from what I heard, they didn't originally joined with A24 until after they had directed the movie and it went to the Sundance Festival. But when A24 picked it up, I thought it was kind of funny that the way that movie ended is similar to how most like modern horror movies do end, with this crazy psychological kind of breakdown where it's super ambiguous ending. So I thought that was cool. And I was happy for those guys and like the small creators getting onto the big screen.
Yeah, I thought it was personally like a really refreshing take on a horror movie. I'm personally not like the biggest horror guy in general, but I did see that Insidious movie, and I feel like that one kind of hit all the cliches you can hit like in a horror movie. And like this one was like really refreshing and new, and I kind of liked how they had it like as like a kind of like a social media trend like in the background, and then you kind of saw like what it was all about. and like how it just kind of took over these kids' lives and ended up in like tragedy. Definitely the ending was like really cool. Spoilers. I know Jake saw it twice, so oh yeah, spoiler alert. My bad. I gotta get used to this. Thing.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. Yeah, you guys should go check it out.
We watched Catch Me If You Can this weekend. Our youngest brother Chase hadn't seen it, and so that's directed by Steven Spielberg. That's kind of like a sneaky Steven Spielberg movie. John Williams also did the Johnny Williams, as I mentioned before we started talking on here. Johnny Williams did the score there, and you can tell he kicked it out of the park. And just from the opening credits, you can tell it's about to be a good one, just soundtrack wise and score wise. But DiCaprio, it's one of his favorite roles for me. Like I love his New York accent. Like I told Jake, he either does like a country accent, which I'm not like fully on board with, or he does that New York accent that he does in like Wolf of Wall Street. And he was all over it in this one. And one of the best scenes is when he's acting like he's like an FBI agent guy, and he's like acting all like professional and like washing his hands walking out of there and like super poised and calm, and completely like messes with Tommy Hanks's character. So I thought that was a great scene. It's always fun to go back and watch that movie. It's a good one.
Yeah, that movie's so good. The way I'm a fan of movies that I cannot predict the ending of, even though you kind of can guess because of the jump back and forth from the plot points. With him being a prisoner and whatnot, but that movie is so good, and I don't know, it's just something about the moxie of that character that Leonardo plays, and like he's a young boy figuring it out. Like I want to know like because it's based on a true story. I want to know the IQ of the guy that like played that character.
Dude,
that was the actual
and it's
guy.
Crazy, bro. You think the movie's about to be over, and then you like figure out he's like working for the FBI now and all that stuff, which is cool. Like that it happened in real life. Like they like kind of like used his talents and like shifted it in a good direction. Imagine if they made that movie and it wasn't based on a true story, if they would even like do a part like that. But like since it was, like it's kind of cool that they did it with that.
I don't know. I got another thing to say. I don't know who like wrote the script, but I love the way that they portrayed the police, even though it's the big FBI and it's like a super serious like thing. This like department that takes care of the fraud that Leonardo DiCaprio's character is committing is like super low budget, super low, and so they're portrayed in this way of being super clumsy and. Like Tye kind of mentioned a scene there with that, and I think that is such a funny thing to have a little comic relief in a section where you wouldn't expect it, because normally like when the police are involved in a movie, they're super serious toned and everything, and they try to be in this, but they don't. They have some funny things happen to them, and Leo catches them, is always like making them be on their toes and not know what's next. So I'd highly recommend watching that if you haven't seen it. It's like one of my favorite movies. Not only, Tye mentioned the score is like so good. Like the music and that just gets you in the mood for just a nice flick. It's not too long either.
And it's cool how Tom Hanks' character has like sympathy for Leo DiCaprio's guy. Just like he knows he's like a kid. Like at the end, bro, like he's like trying to get him out of France and like. But he
tricks him to get Leo's out.
Guys. I know.
No, but at the end they become partners.
He knows he's a kid, though,
for sure. Yeah.
And then I just want to mention we can't.
You guys just need to watch it.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Christopher Walken being Christopher Walken, talking about the mice fighting out of the glass of milk. I mean, that's just a classic scene there. So you guys gotta watch that movie. Definitely. Yes. In one of our top movies, and it was always on when we were little, so that's a great one.
Yeah.
Next movie.
We saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, though. Both of us saw that one.
Oh, we did. Oh, we did see that one. Yeah,
but in separate theaters. I kind of want to talk about it.
Go ahead.
A little bit. I liked the way that that movie is like so obviously Spider-Verse came out, and that's too far away for us to talk about, but that was a great movie. With the animation and everything that they did. And Ninja Turtles is obviously a lot lower budget, but it kind of twists it in a way where you, like, kind of, I don't know, they have this cool cartoony style where, like, the lights might be like a squiggle, or, I don't know, it's just, like, way less animation, but it's kind of satisfying. Just because it's a different take, like, away from that typical Pixar look. And the story was cool, just with the camaraderie of the brothers. Ty and I are like a family of three, or we have 4 boys in our family. So like we would always kind of like see ourselves in some of these characters and try to figure out which brother is which. Yeah. So that's always a fun thing for us to do. But if you don't have brothers, like, but if you grew up, it's more of a nostalgic watch if you're like our age, just because we grew up watching the cartoon. So it was a good one. I didn't think that the ending, we kind of talked about this a little bit, the ending boss scene was a little, like, I don't know, I was kind of already tired of it when it started. It like, you're more there for like the characters and like their funny things that they say, and once like the action started coming in, they just like felt like they had to resolve it, and it just kind of felt like a little too much. But everything else, like the beginning and everything, was cool. So I'd recommend watching it just to watch something different if you're into like a cartoon or kind of like a superhero movie but haven't got that fix.
Yep. About the art style, kind of like Spider-Verse-esque, like you said. They kind of went a little too far into the territory of like making it not realistic, which like I kind of appreciated, but it was also kind of like taking my attention away from the movie at times. Like people's faces weren't like fully formed, and it was like kind of like
weird. It was kind
of
unsightly. It was like right on that what's that word for when it's like the valley, the uncanny valley was kind of coming in a little bit, where it was just like, I don't want to look at
so
this.
That was kind of hard. Yeah, that was kind of weird for me. And then I feel like the soundtrack was good. Like there was kind of some funny moments where like they were playing music in the car, like with that dude voiced by the Gecko dude voiced by Paul Rudd. That was a fun character. And like Jake said with the boss scene, I mentioned to Jake, we kind of just talked about it after. It was like kind of like the classic trope of like CGI, like just like you're fighting like a giant character, like somehow I'd bring back like Midnight, like at the end of that one it was like just some like big CGI battle. I'm like, where did this even come from? It was kind of like a similar feeling to that. And it would have been cooler in my opinion if the Superfly guy used the animals or something to like give himself like different powers. Like I thought that would have been a cooler idea rather than just like a bunch of animals like to make him big. Like I don't know about that.
This is for a younger audience. This is for like if you're a parent and you want to bring your kids to a cool movie. But there is a lot of cool pop culture references in there that like I enjoyed being my age and seeing what I've seen. Like I don't know if older people, like older audiences, would be able to connect with it as much as I did, but I still thought it was worth mentioning. All right, did you have a movie you personally wanted to talk about that I should see or something?
Yeah, I saw this movie called City of God. It's a foreign film. It's Brazilian.
Here we go.
I love the foreign films. I'm a big Lahain guy. I kind of got on the train when Parasite came out in 2019, and ever since then.
How can you not?
My thing is, like Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite, he was like, if you can get past the 2 inches to the bottom of the screen, like just the subtitles, and you're like, the whole world is opened up to a bunch of different stories, which I was like, dang, like, yeah, there's a bunch of like countries out there that don't speak English, and they're making some really cool movies, and this was one of those kind of on my list that I've had for a while. It's called City of God. It's directed by Fernando Meirelles, and it was made in 2002. So literally, like, it's like a little more grainy, like a more rugged film, like a lot of handheld camera work which is cool.
What's the goal of it?
Basically, we see this young kid who's a photographer, or he's trying to be a photographer, and we see the rise of crime in his city in Brazil, and kind of how like the police are super corrupt, similar to Lahain, and we're trying to see like how it got this way. So it like flashes you back to the 60s, and we kind of see the town build up. It's like always been like crime ridden, and we see the rise of this like one of the best bad guys I've ever seen. His name is like Little Dice, and his character like development is like super crazy. And it's one of those movies where we get the opening shot and then it does the whole movie and then it clips back in at the end, at the first shot.
Oh, that's cool.
And you get all the background.
Oh, that's perfect line stuff right there too. Oh.
Yeah, dude, it was cool. It was a different experience. Really cool, like camera work and stuff like that. And it was just cool to see like a movie that looked like it had like a super low budget. Like I think it was like $1 million. Like it wasn't like that high, and they kind of just used their surroundings that were around them and just made like a really cool movie.
Where is this filmed?
It's in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Okay, I bet that's sick.
It's like
it's in the slums.
It's like, yeah, it's City of God. So it's like showing you the city. Yeah, the slums. There's like, it's like kind of like Goodfellas a little bit, like Goodfellow-ish. Kind of like the beginning of crime, like in Goodfellas, you kind of see like the little kid like kind of get introduced to crime. It's kind of like that.
Gotcha.
And it's crazy, bro. It's such a good movie. Like I would love to watch it with you sometime.
Yeah, I didn't even know you watched that one. I'm interested.
Yeah, I still have Lahain above it, foreign movie film wise, and Parasite too. But it was definitely a cool one. And you can kind of see the perspective of a different, yeah. You can kind of see the perspective. Yeah, that's a great. I love Memories of Burner. You can kind of see a different perspective in the world, like kind of like how other people grew up.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
I need to expand out. I haven't seen a South American film, I don't think, so that'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, that was my first one. That was really cool.
All right, we'll
have to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, yep. I'm gonna have to jump in here and talk about one that you shouldn't watch. Well, okay. Maybe you should, but Strays was a movie where the first half was alright. It's a Will Ferrell dog movie. The dogs cuss. You like are introduced to this Will Ferrell dog character, and he's abused by his owner. And at some point, him and some other strays come up with the idea to like exact some revenge on that owner. So, yeah. So before that, he realizes that he needs to get revenge. That whole part of the film, I think, should just be cut out, because I was very close to just getting out of the. I don't walk out of movies, but I was really tempted to.
Never did. We never walk out of movies.
I never walk out of movies, but I was like, oh my gosh. Like, because Will Ferrell's doing his like, oh, super innocent voice. I want to do this. Like, he talks like this. And I was like, ugh. I was like, I can just tell that the director was like, you need to talk like this whenever you say your lines, because you're supposed to be innocent. And I was like, okay. Yeah, you can censor it in the trailer too if you watch it. But I was like, I'm not with it. But then once they started getting into like some actual little, like, I guess it was more of just a build up to this point where you kind of understand the characters enough. Because there's like a pretty good like it should not be as good as it was scene where the two dogs that are like tight like through this whole adventure, like they split, and there's like a real moment between those two dogs that you can kind of feel. And I was like, I was not expecting to like actually be like, okay, I like actually like, I don't know, I enjoyed that part of it where they're like really getting emotional, or like, because it was like super relatable. I don't know, like they did something with that which I liked. But then it's back to shit at the end when they just like end up doing what they set out to do, and it's just it's a shit show. So Watch it if you want to find that little part where there like is a glimmer of like excellence, and then, but it's just surrounded by too much garbage to even be worth it, in my opinion.
Okay, and let me just establish as well, before we continue, we love going to the movies. I will go to the movies like once a week. I will like feel like in my soul that I need to go get some popcorn and a cherry Coke and sit down in the theater and just stuff my face with popcorn. That's just like our favorite thing to do. So we've been doing it since we were little. We used to ride our bikes to Blockbuster to go get movies. We used to go to the library to go get movies. We're big movie guys, so that's why we're talking about movies too much a little bit, but like we love movies, so this is why we talk about it.
Yeah,
I just want to say that
it's a little bit of, I don't know, we just enjoy it a lot, so we could talk about it all day if we wanted to, but
yeah,
let's get into something else. What do you want to talk about, Ty?
Well, I had 2 more movies that I've seen recently.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's 7. I finally watched 7.
I can't believe you hadn't seen that
fully. I'd seen like bits and pieces. Like I knew what the ending was going to be the whole time, but that one's a tough watch. I watched it with my roommates.
This guy doesn't like anything scary, so
no, I do. Hey, it's a tough watch for them. Like they were like, "Oh my God, Ty!" Like I was just trying to go to bed. Like
yeah,
but it was a great movie.
The movie spirits for that thing. It's a
for
fucking
sure
thriller.
Yeah, but Brad Pitt was incredible, and Kevin Spacey was horrifying, and
Morgan Freeman
was really great as well, playing that like old cop. So I just wanted to mention that one, and then I also watched Reservoir Dogs twice. I really like that movie. Like Tarantino, it's one of his best in my opinion. Like one of my favorites of his. Like
so simple. But it's so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's like 2 locations in the whole movie. And
yeah, because it's low budget and they just do it right.
Yeah. Blonde, Mr. Blonde is badass. Like crazy, bro. Like that's the guy who cut off the dude's
I know.
His ear. It sounded weird if I didn't say anything else. But Chris Penn is like he's like the chubby guy with like the colorful coat. Who's the boss's son?
Yeah.
Dude, he's so good. He's in a couple movies I've seen recently. He was in the movie Thief.
Yeah, I enjoyed him as
He's
well,
cool, bro. He died young, which kind of sucks. Like, he's great in that role.
Mr. White is obviously, like, a main character.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who's the guy who is, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. All right, we just cut after Ty just spoiled the ending, but let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, go watch Reservoir Dogs if you haven't. It's one of the best
it's great. Movies. It's great. I enjoyed that one. Yeah, and I want to, before we move on, if you guys actually are watching, we care about your opinion. So if you want to hear our spoiler reviews as opposed to our synopsis overall review, let us know, because we'd be happy to dive in a little deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, so football season.
It's
week 0 this week. We just watched a little Friday Night Lights with our younger brother Chase, and now it's time for some college football to crank up, which is really exciting. Notre Dame plays Navy in Ireland this Saturday, which is awesome. Notre Dame's coming into the year. They're ranked number 13 in the country, and they also picked up a nice little QB1 from Wake Forest, Sam Hartman.
That they did. I forgot about that.
Which is electric.
Wait,
and I just want to show.
Was that which team picked him up? I forget.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame picked him up?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I did. I am. I'm gonna show you a little video real quick that I found on. He hooked all his boys up.
Why didn't I think he'd go to
this week?
I thought he went to the SEC for some reason.
Look, he hooked the boys up. Some of those those Irish beats.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas.
He hooked the boys up.
Thanks, Sam.
They're white on the inside, so I
mean, they can't be gold all around. Those are pretty cool, though. I mean, they should have been, honestly.
Dude. Bro,
But yeah, I saw that. I forgot Sam Hartman got picked up by them, actually. But that's going to be a huge weapon for them this year.
I don't know if we're going to keep it in, but I saw this one specific guy who you could probably tell was on some type of team in my class today, and he had his Beat headphones on in class while the teacher's talking, and it was absurd. So I hope those Notre Dame guys, well, they're at Notre Dame, so I bet they're, buttoned up enough to know not wear Beats during lectures, because that was just like an obvious way to just say, I don't give a fuck about what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it was sad to see.
Was that the first fuck on the show?
I think I've slipped it in a few times, actually, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the first time we'll acknowledge it. This is not family friendly. All right, I'm kidding.
No, this is
all right.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Oh.
And then
so we only said Notre Dame so far. Let's talk about other teams.
Yeah. They play Navy, which will be fun. It's in Ireland, which is cool. Little Irish action, Ireland. Fighting Irish in Ireland.
That's
Saturday.
That's legendary.
Tune in. Yeah.
I'm definitely checking that one out.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. And then USC, number 6 in the country, plays San Jose State.
Okay, that's all. Okay, we're back.
All right.
We just
we're back. We're back.
Were we talking about Notre Dame?
Little technical difficulties. I was talking about USC is also playing this weekend. They're playing San Diego State, which will be a good one. It'll be another year with Lincoln Riley as the head coach. Caleb Williams once again as the quarterback, which is big for the Trojans because he's just off a Heisman-winning season. So they're going to be a problem. Even if they lost some guys, they should be in pretty good shape. And I'm not too worried about San Diego State, to be honest.
Yeah, they're going to be airing it out.
Yeah.
Likely.
I'm expecting 50 minimum. 50 minimum.
Yeah, I like that over-under. 66 for the game over-under. It's probably all going to be USC points there.
And especially because they're coming off a loss to Utah last year.
We should start looking at giving some same game parlays picks together. See if we can start getting some.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That could be a fun thing to do. All right, let's look at the money lines, Ty. Let's talk about money lines. Actually the spreads. Notre Dame's gonna cover minus 20.5.
They should. I mean, they have Sam Hartman now, and they kind of turned it on towards the end of the year last year. Their quarterback.
Yeah, let's remember last year.
Alabama.
That's what I was getting at a little bit. Notre Dame last year had a slow start to their season. It's going to be interesting to see. Different group, obviously, but are they going to be able to start a little faster this year? And, I mean, the spread guys think so. They give them 3 touchdown lead in the spread. I think they'll cover. In Navy, I don't even know who won the Navy-Army game last year, but I don't know if Navy's been good in a while. So
Navy's pretty tough-nosed team. I feel like there's potential that Notre Dame could play down to kind of their level. But I don't think they'll have the abilities out at what's up?
And they're out in Dublin. Those Navy guys know how to travel without issues, and I'm sure they've been through a lot more than that kind of travel situation than Notre Dame guys have.
Yeah. Well, Notre Dame is Notre Dame, and they do have a new coach, a newer coach, the past couple years with Brian Kelly leaving.
That's not even relevant.
What? He is a newer coach, though.
Freeman's been a coach.
I mean, he's okay.
Is he? He's there. He's been there for 2 years already. So he's their coach. You know.
I thought last year was Brian Kelly's first year with LSU.
Yeah, Lou Holtz was talking about it like pretty recently, I guess. So. I don't know. I might just be shitting on you for no reason here.
Yeah, it's okay.
Brian
Happens.
Kelly.
It's something to talk about. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I guess. Why do I feel like this guy's been at Notre Dame for a longer time than this?
I don't know.
I'm just looking it up so we can... Yeah, I guess I'm just like... Sorry, Ty.
It's okay.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman. I don't know. I feel like he's established himself once he got to the end of that season. So.
That's a good thing that you think he's been there for a while. So that I guess he's doing his job right, if you didn't know.
Yeah,
so
yeah, sure.
That's good.
Or I just don't know what the fuck I'm telling. Okay.
And then a little hop, skip, and a jump back to the USC game. I was going to mention that USC all-time is 5-0, so no issue there.
Against San Jose.
Yeah,
State.
and I'm sure they'll cover whatever the... I'm curious to see what the spread is for that.
It's minus 31.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. I think they'll cover. I mean, that's a lot of points, though. That's 5 touchdowns, pretty much.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's why they put it there. I'll go over again just to be excited about football being back, you know. I want to see the boys score.
Speaking of football being back, I saw a nice little TikTok I want to show you. I don't know if you could hear the audio on here, but it's I wanted to show you this one. Can you hear it?
1 more week.
He says 1 more week. That's on the back. I thought that was funny, bro. It's pretty
I don't
stupid,
remember the context of it, so I don't know how.
It's just like a creepy like comes up behind him, grabs his shoulder. He's like,
just 1 more week.
1 more week.
All right.
Slaps him with him.
Yeah.
I wish you could hear this shit. I'm sad you
Yeah,
can't.
we gotta figure that out.
We will figure it out. All right.
Gentlemen, I've said it once and I'll say
And then,
it
dude,
again, I love
this
watching
shit was so funny.
I get home after a long day. I don't celebrate with a lousy beer. No.
Dude, you gotta hear this, bro. It's so funny.
Taking the edge off by watching a guy like Donald Penn turn the corner after catching a batted ball at the line of scrimmage. A little point to the sideline after, baby. Here we go. We got Damian McIntosh out in front of Jamal Charles, and he's putting Dolphins on their
Bro, I
tailbones.
swear they had him as an out of position
Let's go.
player
The way he
1 year.
maintains top speed with that arm up, baby. Get on the ground.
They had him as like a out of position.
Jake, you gotta hear this guy's commentator. This guy's commentating it. It's so funny. He's like, I don't get a nice ice cold beer after work. He's like, I turn on the big boys getting the ball and rumbling and tumbling. It's so good.
Dude, I'm trying to say Penn was definitely an out of position player card during Madden, during the Christmas season. Back
Absolutely.
in the day, he was a tight end that we threw in there, and it was a great time.
That's fun.
Yeah, I just remember that. All right, we got.
What we got? Oh yeah, I was gonna show you NHL. Basically, if you guys have not heard, NHL 24 is coming out with their version of kind of fatigue, which kind of stinks. But it's a momentum kind of fatigue. So like if your team's putting a lot of shots on goal, then you're gonna be moving faster around than your opponent, so you're gonna score pretty much. And they in this article they asked some like actual players about it, and like as you can see here, it's a very true part of hockey. That's a player for he's the cover player for NHL 24, which is kind of cool to see that they're kind of implementing that. You hate to see it be like one of those things in like NCAA or Madden where it kind of like takes away from the fun of it being like a video game. But we'll see how it plays out for them.
You moved into this space super specifically very fast. I'm very like what's the thing that they added?
Oh, okay. They added like a exhaustion, like it's like a
okay.
Exhaust engine, but there's also a sustained pressure system, which is like an adrenaline effect. So like for the attacking team that's like putting more shots on goal on, they'll have like more energy, which is kind of cool.
Is that like the boost that they have in Madden now? Because I was playing Play Now yesterday,
I'd assume
and
it's something similar.
They had some things where if you have momentum in the game, then you get these little boosts to your squad.
Yeah,
where,
it's
like,
definitely
your
similar to
your quarterback won't get offended by like a pressure or something, or your kicker won't have any. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is an area right here.
I think stamina meters are dumb in sports games, even though it adds a little skill element. I think you should just be able to hold turbo down the whole time.
Said I'm sure it'll make a lot of people mad if you're in the zone for a minute and like a minute or so, and everybody's starting to get tired and you can't even do anything in the game. That kind of sucks, but it's kind of rewarding the player that's like playing better. So I guess it's like kind of a skill issue. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But that's cool that Madden kind of implemented it too.
I don't think it's a good thing.
I mean, we'll see how it plays out.
I think
I'm
if there's a ranked mode
though.
where people are playing competitively and they want that feature enabled, then that could be an option there. But I don't think you should make like me, who hasn't played NHL in a while, like try to like know when to shift players into the game. Like I don't know how.
No, I mean it'll auto shift, but like your team's gonna have like a general less like stamina, which kind of stinks. But we'll see how it plays out. And then here's a World of Chell video. This is actually really cool. I'm just gonna preface this by saying like it used to be kind of like a bags. You like open bags and try to get gear, which is kind of cool, similar to like CSGO. They could have leaned into that more, but this is the approach they took. So I'm going to just play this video for us real quick.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Englehart, and welcome to the NHL 24 World of Chell Deep Dive. Let's get into it.
There's a part later in this video that's interesting.
And that means you can now team up with and against friends across your respective console generation. Crossplay will be available across Hockey Ultimate Team and all World of Chell.
I'll just fast forward to the part that we care about here. Basically, there's a battle pass in the game now, like Fortnite.
You can now play.
They took the bags out, but it's a free battle pass. It's free.
And premium tier, with all players getting access to premium for
That's
season
cool.
1.
As long as it's free, maybe that'll be good.
Vanity, player classes,
but I like randomizing stuff.
Any gameplay specific.
Yeah,
So now
it's cool,
you know
but
everything that you get.
it's not like it's like random like CS:GO where like you could like pull something like a blue sapphire or something.
As we say goodbye to
And then they have a store as well. They have a
introduce the
store
World of
that you can
Chell
buy
store,
items
where
in,
you can
like
get
kind
the
of like
items you want when you want them. Here,
with
you can easily
V-Bucks.
use World of Chell coins to get specific unlocks for your player or club. The World of Chell store gives
Like
direct
that.
access to the vanity items you really want, and most items you collect will carry over to NHL 25, so you can continue to flex your
But yeah,
favorite
alright.
fit.
Let me
From
so they're kind of implementing like a Fortnite kind of style, which is interesting. I like how it's free to play. It won't be like pay to win like that, but it'll make you want to play more. Hockey boxes were already doing that, like hockey bags were. We'll see how this changeup is. And I didn't show it, but there's also going to be like emblems and like calling cards, like kind of like Call of Duty, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. So there's completely no bags in the game now.
Yeah, which kind of stinks, but
So
the bags
you
was
can't
fun.
get,
I feel
a
like
cool tie-dye jersey out of nowhere anymore. Like that kind of is a bummer to me. Like I don't like that you can buy any specific thing now. That's kind of stupid.
I guess that's true. Maybe they'll still have bags, but there's a battle pass to get different gear.
Yeah, that's cool.
I hope there is bags in the game.
With a 100 tier battle pass, and he has like some like super sick gloves that you can only get, or jersey that you can only get.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Or like some Selly or something. Like
let's not stray away from just having some bags out there, because we love gambling. Is such a fun thing, and that's what basically it is. So
yeah, it's like opening packs in Madden.
Yeah, I
like
want to
it's addicting.
accidentally pull something electrifying. So
like I wish they kind of went the Fortnite route, but I wish they would have leaned into the CS:GO.
They do have a rewards section up in the top title scene. I don't know if that might be like a for those bags potentially.
I was gonna say I wish they would have leaned into the bags more and like made it kind of like a CS:GO kind of deal, where like everything is a little different. Like I feel like that would have been kind of cool.
You can't with a game that is gonna be made new every year. CS:GO, the only way that
That's true.
system works is because you have one game that represents itself like, and they just update it.
I feel like that's the new style for gaming. Like, I feel like
that's something that needs to happen in these.
That needs to happen. Like, it's just
happened.
Yeah. Like, even with Call of Duty, like, we just need one game. Like,
yeah, just update.
But it needs to be a great game. Like, if everyone loves it, like, then just build on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to get like
Madden and stuff. Like it's
fun to get new weapons, but it could be like kind of like Fortnite where they like implement new weapons in different seasons and stuff like that, and then like kind of take some away and vault some. Like that would be cool. But
yeah, could be cool.
I just wanted to talk about that shell stuff, which I thought was pretty cool.
Nice.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We had some technical difficulties towards the end with some cameras and some audio, but it's good to practice. It's good to learn. I'm glad we're taking the steps to do this thing. So thanks for tuning in and clicking on this video.